what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Shea.
It's your boy, Corey.
And tonight, we're going to be unwrapping season 4. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to tonight's podcast.
Out of the ashes, we will soar to a destiny we can't ignore. Heartbeats echo through the night with every dream and endless flight. Together strong, let's break the mold. Our rebirth and stories told. It's time to renew, rebuild, restore. Unlock the dreams we've been waiting for. Rise up higher, more and more. With every breath, a new dawn's roar. Oh.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Rebirth Podcast. I'm your host, Shea.
And I'm your other host, Corey.
It's okay. It's been a long season.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy
Yes.
Monday. Wrapping up season number 4.
Wrapping up season number 4. And happy Monday to you guys. And thank you guys for always rocking with us every Monday at 7. We had a wonderful season. Our season was about healing. Healing.
Yeah, healing.
So tonight we're going to just do a recap about all of the shows and everything that we've experienced and our thoughts about how we felt the season went.
Yeah.
And please feel free to share yours in the chat, please.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
And maybe what you want to see for season 5.
absolutely.
Throw that in there.
Yeah. Or what guests would you like to see on the show? If you know someone that would be perfect for the Rebirth Podcast, hit me up.
Yeah, please do.
Hit me up. Yeah.
Hit her
So
up.
what's happening with you?
It's digesting from season 4, digesting the rest. Well, not the rest. The first part of 2025,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's been a hell of a year already,
It has.
right?
It has.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a
Elon
year.
and Trump done broke up. And
They done broke up. And that's why, that pillow talk can get you, boy.
Man,
You start coming back, you be like, remember when you said
listen.
you was on them tapes? Yeah, that's crazy. Elon and
Yeah.
Trump. Diddy's still on trial.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
injustice going on in LA and throughout the United States with
yeah.
the immigration and ICE.
A lot of craziness happening.
Budget cut, people losing their jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
you
People
know,
losing their minds.
People losing their minds.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So it's been a crazy first half of the year. We had some graduations. People done graduated.
Yes,
school,
yep.
colleges.
Shout out to all the graduates. I'm pretty sure by now all the graduations
Yeah, it
are
should be
probably
done.
have taken place.
Should be
and
done. Should be done.
now you go into that season of,
What the hell do I do next?
pretty much.
Wake up like,
Yeah.
I got nowhere to be.
Mhm.
Where am I supposed to be going?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but healing continues.
Yeah,
Right? Healing
absolutely.
continues, so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So speaking about healing, I didn't want to talk about this a couple of weeks ago when it dropped. Although I wanted to talk about it because it was hitting me when I watched it. But I didn't want to spoiler alert, if you have not seen the movie Straw, then turn this off for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, go to the room, go to the bathroom.
Turn this off for about 5 minutes if you haven't seen the movie Straw. But if you have, I would love to hear what your comments were. Have you seen it?
Yes, I saw it last night.
Okay.
I did.
So before we get into what our thoughts were, Tyler Perry gets a lot of criticism about his movies, and then he has a lot of people that support and absolutely love his movies. So whether you are a Tyler Perry fan or not, you had to walk away feeling something from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling something. And again, whether you're a Tyler Perry fan or not, the storyline of the movie, and I know people, they always say he always portrayed Black women in, not so good of light, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the storyline of this movie was very powerful from a mental health standpoint for me. So what was your thoughts?
Well, I went into it with just good expectations, just based off of the cast, right? Like you think about Taraji,
Tiana Taylor. Sherry
Sherry
Shepherd.
Shepherd.
She did her
She
thing in
did it
that
good.
movie, didn't she?
She did. So I went into it just a promotion for that, and honestly, before I just saw people posting the cover art, right? And I was just like, wow, like what is this movie about? So I
Mm-hmm.
finally sat and watched it. And it was a powerful movie. It was a
Mm-hmm.
powerful movie, and I think that, to your point, from a mental health perspective, and whether you are, I guess it's still a spoiler alert, whether you're the single mom going
Mm-hmm.
through it, or you come from a single parent household,
Right.
or have you ever not had money
Right.
and you went and helped somebody when your
Mm-hmm.
last dollar, you gave it to somebody that was
Yeah,
homeless?
Sinbad.
Sinbad, right? He was there, right?
You
Or
know.
have you ever had an argument with your landlord, or whether you've had
Mm-hmm.
kids where you're just tired, right?
Yeah.
And where are you grabbing your strength from? The 5 stages of grief was
Mm-hmm.
there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so how a bad day can just bubble into something else.
Yeah.
And also, one of the bigger walkaways that I had is how cruel people can be,
Right. Right.
right? And you just never know what somebody is going through, so you should always choose
Absolutely.
kindness. Um,
Absolutely.
or you don't have to overextend yourself, but you should not meet somebody um with because her day it was a day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a day,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, but it was definitely powerful, and I found myself like just even today, like I watched it last night, just unpacking it and how things like connected and things like that. So it definitely hits you on so many different levels.
Absolutely.
Representation matters. How
Mm-hmm.
we talked about I think last week talked about just dealing with law enforcement,
Right.
right? Just like
Right.
the dynamics of that.
Yeah.
How connecting,
Mm-hmm.
how Tiana Taylor connected with Taraji, and
Mm-hmm.
talked about her experience and how she was able to be um negotiate her out and walk her through.
Yeah.
um it was just
The
a lot.
trust.
The trust,
The trust
the
that
trust.
she had. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah. And just the
Um,
boss, I ain't never saw a whole boy like in that type of role. I forget what he's from. Isn't he he was the guy from,
I kept trying to remember where was he from, and I couldn't think of
oh
it.
my god, what's the show? Different World. Wasn't that that's not him? That's the guy from A Different World. He
Oh,
was
you talking about the captain?
no,
Who you talking about?
her boss. Her boss in when she
Oh,
was
yes, yes,
yes,
yes,
yes.
yes. The one she shot.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Okay.
They said the one she
The one
shot.
she
Yeah, the
shot.
one she shot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was just a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
then I
Mm-hmm.
went to, and at this point, I'm sick of it. How people, like, some of the comments that I saw prior to watching the movie, Tyler Perry does it again. Oh my
Right.
god, blah 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 blah. And I think that at this point, you have to be ready to look in the mirror and address
Mm-hmm.
some things that you've either in your own self or the things that you may have
Mm-hmm.
saw to watch his movies at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking to be entertained rather than educated,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to give you both,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that people have to I don't know how to say it, grow up
You
emotionally.
know, this
I don't get it.
particular movie, honestly, I couldn't say anything bad about this particular movie. I really couldn't. You know, this he's telling people stories, and like you said, I think sometimes that's uncomfortable for some people
Mhm.
to be able to see that
Mhm.
and feel like, oh, that's me, or I
Mhm.
can relate to that, or that was me, or whatever. um the single mom, or just a mom period,
Mhm.
not even, just a mom period. She had her daughter was ill.
Mhm.
She struggled with, illness, seizures, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
um what I saw was how hard she went for her family, how hard we go for our kids, right? And how people tend to create their own narrative about your own life.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It was so many narratives created about her life and her situation that wasn't even true. That
Mhm.
she abused her daughter,
Yep.
which wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Have we seen that in real life?
Mhm.
Absolutely. I've seen struggling moms trying to, and dads, trying to make ends meet and trying to make sure it's enough food for everybody to have something to eat. And because if the child looks a little frail, or
Mhm.
maybe the clothes was a little bit dingy. Like she had an issue with that on there, Now you're calling Child Protective Services, and your kids are being taken away. So this is real life stuff. This is things that really happen to people, right? And it showed also how grief can have you so disconnected.
Yeah.
And it's so dark and it's so heavy that you don't even realize that you're walking around and things are not really happening. Like before that twist came, I had already seen it because I noticed she was so disconnected. She was just like, oh, but why are they acting like that out there? Like she was just so disconnected to everything.
I didn't even catch it.
The what they thought was a bomb. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing, she's not even thinking that they think that this is a bomb. She was just so disconnected. I kept saying, there's a twist here. Something is going to change here. And her daughter was never alive.
Yeah. I didn't even catch it.
Yeah.
I was so caught up in how things are not always what they seem, and how people, like I think you said your earlier point, the perception of something will look like either we want it to look, or based off of how we judge a person or their circumstance.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It is not being compassionate.
Yeah.
I went through so many places. That girl in that bank. Oh my goodness.
Tessa. I could have whooped
Tessa, the lady when she got out the car and let her daughter out.
Yep.
And how she looked at her and she went into the
But when you look back at it, you see why she looked at her that way.
She looked at her that way,
right.
But when she had her kid taken away, she's like, "Why would you do that?" And like to your point, when she kept saying, "Why would you do that?" Because I'm like, yeah, she's disconnected, but I'm like, how you see certain things when you just don't stop and ask a person a question,
right?
Or you don't have that compassion, and you're meeting the person inside of the hostile situation that they're in, as opposed to pulling them to the side and trying to facilitate a conversation, how things just continue to escalate, how you take somebody else's perception and make it your own.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a
good movie, y'all. What did y'all think? I mean, put it in the comments. Did you see Straw? How did you feel? What was coming up for you when you were watching the movie? So I like to. That's how I like to judge things while I'm watching it. What's happening in my body? What am I feeling? And I was in a very relaxed place when I was watching it. I was watching this when I was in the hot tub, but there was periods where tears was coming down my face, right? So for me, I was just like, oh, this is doing something. This is moving. You know what I'm saying? This is not just an entertainment. This is somebody's story. This story is very familiar. I know her. You know what I'm saying? I know these people, right? I know these people that's struggling, right? So what did you think about Straw? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? And please don't put in the chat, it was another Tyler Perry. Like, no, I want to know, why didn't you like it? And I want to know, why did you like it? All right. So last week we were talking to licensed clinical social worker, Mr. Gregory Sneed was on here. And we were talking a little bit about Black men and mental health and their feelings. And so you had something you wanted to talk about tonight, right?
Yeah, I think we talked about with him just like continuing to push that narrative and how Black men's feelings are disregarded very quickly, right? And I think that some of the things that we've even talked about just throughout season 4, sometimes it's done out of just frustration and experience meeting experience, and we're fighting each other or just really wanting to be heard, right? And one of the things, even inside of, I'll just say, going inside of this whole thing with Diddy, right? And I took a moment that I had to realize that a lot of people that are watching this happen, we're all victims of something. And we're wanting to tell our story and be heard, even in the comments, right? You think about this thing going on with, I don't know if you heard, like the DDG, and I always get them mixed up, Chloe and Bailey with their situation with their child, and what's going on with them. And I one of the things that
What's going on with them?
So so basically they're in a relationship, or we're in a relationship. She's had or is having some postpartum. She's going through postpartum depression. And throughout that there was a breakup, and during the breakup she's having some severe reactions to postpartum, or some severe reactions to either the breakup or this, and there's a lot of
both.
or both, right? And there's a lot of where she's in distress, and there's talks of suicide, there's talks of wanting to take her child and this away from the dad, and he's having a reaction to it, and so on and so forth. So it's not nothing that we haven't seen just in our community, just the fight and the lack of education, whether it be postpartum or what have you. But what I noticed, what is consistent, is that he doesn't have a voice to say how he's feeling in the midst of what's happening. At the end of the day, whether you agree with the situation or not, that's still his child. Right? And what is the fear that he's going through when these things are happening? Take it off of them. If you experience a co-parenting relationship, and if there is some type of distress, whether it be postpartum, whether it just be frustration on either side of the parent, and certain claims are made, if somebody was to say like, I'm over it, I just don't want to be here anymore. For the other parent, what do you feel? Fear.
Right.
So he has a right to at least express how he feels. He has a right to say whatever that is for him. And what I need. So I was watching the Breakfast Club one morning on Facebook Live, and they were talking about everything that happened. And I made a comment. I commented and said, well, I hope that they take his story just as serious as they took hers. And why did I say that?
They came after you?
Woo! Still like 45 comments.
Oh, wow.
Are you soft? What kind of man are you? How dare you? Da, 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 da. And all I said was, I hope they take his claims just as serious as they took hers. That's all I really said. And it was such wiped out.
So why do you think that happened?
Because what I allowed myself to, and I try to meet it, because part of me was not going to comment, and part of me, I just did. I had to. Right. But what I had to say to myself, like, somebody that is commenting back, number one, I didn't meet them with like getting nasty back. If they said something that's real crazy, I said, wow, like, you said all of that just based off of my comment and saying, I hope they take his feelings into consideration. And I'm soft, and I'm this, and I'm not a black man, and I'm all of this other stuff. I said, you that mad over that? We can't have a conversation. I would just respond like, I wasn't disrespectful. That's how, because what I wanted to say was something different.
You that mad?
That's I said, you that mad over that? Like, so, but I also noticed that going through, Diddy's situation. And if you ever try to say, well, think about this and think about that, it's met with a lot of resistance. So people just kind of back up. So I think for me, it's one of the things that we have to continue to talk through, is that as black men, we have a reaction, we have emotions, we have feelings, that we should not just be reduced to providers and protectors. Right. We are a lot of different things, and you can't always put us in a box, because once you do, we're reduced just to that box. And sometimes we walk away feeling that way.
Absolutely.
So, I think we had a good conversation last week in just regards to how important it is. We talked again, another show during the season, we talked about, coming to reclaim your community, black women coming to reclaim our community. And I think I shared, we're part of that.
You said that you need us to do that, because you need us to get to, like, come get y'all.
Come get us too. Yeah. Because I think
expand on that a little bit when you said that, because I understood it then, but
So I think that when you all were talking about, we need to come reclaim our communities. And part of reclaiming your community, yes, it is a sisterhood that comes together, right? It's you all making sure you're continuing to empower each other and see each other as equals or more. But it also is, we want you to remember or consider or think about the black men that are in your community that we need you to show up for us as well. Because
Mhm.
when you all form together, we're going to gather around you, and we also feel protected inside of that, right? So when not only are you coming to get each other, you're coming to get your community, but just in sheer by you doing that, you're coming to get us as well, and we're going to rally behind that. And we need that. We need softness inside of our community again. We need to be nurtured inside of our community again, because we've lost that, and
Yeah.
now we're at each other,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
that is that's my
Yeah,
belief.
it's it's a very good example. I think there was a question. I was kind of looking back, y'all, on some of the comments from the shows prior to, but there was a question that had came up with that comment, and it was we as black women need our men to rally around us.
Yeah.
You know, and I think when we have these conversations, it always go back to, well, we need y'all. Well, we need y'all. Well, we need y'all to step up. Well, we need y'all to step up. But the truth is, we are so much better as together than we are apart. Yeah. And the things that we are asking our men to do and be a part of, they are asking us the same thing. Yeah. You know, instead of doing this tug of war thing, we should be joining together as a team and then going after the issue together, going after the problem together, not on opposites.
Yeah.
You know,
because we're not the issue, the problem is the issue, right?
Exactly.
So if we continue to see it that way, then we will kind of form together and work together to solve the issue.
Yeah.
The same way we do for other things, right? So I think it's important that not only do we as men come together to address some of our, whether it be toxic behavior, whether it just be our own, wounds from the past, or being realistic about, where we are and meeting each other where we are.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we continue to ask for space.
Absolutely.
Ask for space, but show up to that space too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what was one of your favorite shows?
All the ones that I was on. So yeah, that's kind of where I settled. No, I think there's a lot. The relationship expert one, which will be airing, what people will see.
Yeah, that aired 2 weeks ago. Yes, with Eden Adele.
Yes.
That was an aha
I didn't
moment.
know what to expect on that one, but that was good. That was good. Like you kept talking about how she was gonna land the plane. She landed it.
I know it was circling around a little bit with the icing and the cake and the
icing
cake
and the
and
cake.
the icing.
Yeah. Realized I love cake. You know what I mean?
I realized I love icing.
Right.
And cake. Together, it's just better.
Yeah, it is.
Shout out to you, Edith.
Yeah, that was good. The one with you and Levante, that was good.
Oh, that was a powerful show. Yes, that was I forgot. I can't remember.
Was that Healing Her or Becoming Her?
Becoming Her. Yeah. Shout out to Levante Dorsey. Yeah. That actually went viral. That episode went viral. Got a lot of good feedback on that episode. It was, that's my sissy. So I love her to death. Yeah. But just, her sharing her story and, people see who we are now. Right? Or who we is just not even now, but who we are. But you don't necessarily see what it took. Yeah. To, become Levante, what it took to become Shea, what it took to become, women that people may look up to or say, oh, they got it together. But no, we don't. We don't have it all together. Nobody has it all together. Right. Nobody has it. And if they said that they do, they lying. Right. Nobody has it all together. There's always room for improvement. I always look at myself as a student of life. Yep. I'm always constantly learning from other people. And I don't want to stop learning. At that point where I feel like I know it all, then I don't know what that's gonna look like.
Yeah, true that. Breaking barriers in aviation was another one.
Oh my goodness, I fanned out on her. I fanned out. Yes. Gabby, Captain Gabby.
Yeah, Harding. I think was the last name.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
Harding.
had it was such an honor to meet her.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to replay that show while we're on break. It was such an honor to meet her. I felt like a little girl, all over again, because I've never seen that. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody that I would have loved to have met when I was a little girl, so I could know that I could be like that. I could be a pilot, a female pilot. Yeah. What did you think about that show?
I mean, it was dope. I learned a lot. Again, we keep talking about how representation matters, right? Just her path to getting where she was, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't all, wasn't all smooth, right? I think there was a couple times where they wanted to train her and retrain her and retrain her, right?
Yeah.
Just to get to where she is, but was super inspiring.
And she kept going. She kept doing it.
Yes.
She knew it was wrong. She knew that they were, pretty much only doing that because she was Black.
Right.
But she did what she needed to do, and she showed up.
She sure did.
Very powerful. Very powerful show.
The Healing in Good Company with the producer.
Oh, Jen. Yeah. That was a good show.
That was a good show.
She got a chance to get from behind the other side.
Yes, she did.
And share her story.
We looking at Jen, y'all.
So yeah, we looking at her. I'm gonna tell you what she's doing, y'all. She's like, yeah, I did. But yeah, that was a good show. Well, Jen, what was one of your favorite shows? All of them.
She said it right.
I think my favorite one this season was with the pilot.
With the pilot? Yeah.
That was
yeah.
All weren't great, but it was
that was a good one.
her empowerment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another one of my favorite, of course, was with my son.
I already knew. I was gonna say it. There you go.
That was just a beautiful moment. I have had my youngest son on the show with me before, but to have both of them on the show, and they both were talking. I thought, especially my oldest one, I thought he was gonna be like, but he was the one that was doing the most talking. It was great. It was a great feeling to share this platform with them. I talk to you guys about my sons all the time. I mention them a lot. As Corey do his children as well. And so it was nice to have them sit here and for Mother's Day. That was the Mother's Day show. And we chatted it up, so something was to ever happen or whatever, that's something they will always have.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? It's something they will always have. Last Mother's Day, 2024, my mom was on the couch with me. And that was the whole reason why I wanted to do that show, was because if something was to ever happen to my mom, which something's going to happen to all of us, but that's just something I know I will always have. You know what I'm saying? It will always be there, for my sons, for their children to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how far we have come with technology. You know what I'm saying? Think about you being able to watch a video of or interview of your great grandma. So yeah,
and we definitely need to make more moments of those. I think sometimes we just take it for granted, and we always think tomorrow will be here, next year will be here, things like that. Definitely making sure that we are capturing some of those moments and having those conversations is super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I'm gonna ask you, so it wouldn't be me.
Nope.
Okay? So like, this is your first season, really, in a while, doing this alone.
I wasn't alone.
Well, I mean, you had people here, right? But you had people here, but like your season 4 was without a co-host, always without a co-host. Like, but I think that was super brave, and the feeling of you doing that was like, that was a big deal, right? Because I remember your first show and how you stepped into that, right? And that's different when you used to looking to having somebody on your left, or your right, to defer to, and then ain't nobody to defer to, right? What does that do? And like, that process, sometimes we don't talk about that process. You see a lot of people going through these podcasts or these shows, and there's a change, right, in how resilient you have to be, and how you have to kind of work through what that is. But I think that's super, super dope for yourself, right? It's like, You look to the right, you look to the left. You may not always have somebody there. So how do you do that, right? The power to keep going, right? Which is healing within
Oh,
itself.
wow. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that,
Yeah.
Corey.
Yeah.
It was important,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Because the reality is, and what you just said, sometimes you do have to do this thing alone.
Yeah.
And when I say this thing, I'm talking about life, period. You know, the season was called, it was a season of healing, and I had to go through my own healing process. And in order to do that, I needed to sit by myself at times, you know, and know that, you know, remember where Rebirth came from. Rebirth came from a place of just me being by myself. It came from a place of me rediscovering who I was, because I was walking and moving in the world based upon what the world told me who I was, based upon what my marriage told me who I was, and all of that. So I had to get in that space of being alone. And just because you're alone doesn't mean you're lonely, you know, but just being alone to be able to say, you know what, girl, understand your value, understand your worth, understand that, you know, at the end of the day, you still got to keep going regardless. People are going to come and go.
Yeah, for sure.
People are going to come and go, but you still got to keep moving. And that's what, you know, I did. But I am so grateful for you. You know, you guys, Corey, you don't know, Corey's a very, very, he's a very loyal friend, number one. He brings a lot to the podcast. Uh, Sometimes I don't even feel like thinking. I ain't even going front like today. Like I have brain fog. So I'm just going to be honest about it. I have extreme brain fog. And I know it comes from me also dealing with chronic pain. And Corey is just that person where, you know, y'all don't see, but he got like notes over here, got a notebook over here. But he's that person where if I can say, hey, I need you to carry this for me, he got me.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. You know, and then I gotta say the same thing when it comes down to Jen. You guys don't really see her that much, but she know Jen shows up. She shows up when I don't need her to show up.
She coming regardless.
She show up because that's, you know, that's just her loyalty. And that's, you know, she's very serious about Rebirth, about me, about our friendship and our team and what we're doing out here in these streets. You know, so I'm just so blessed and I'm so grateful to have people like you and Jen. You know, I have to shout out Michelle. Michelle does the marketing. She does the flyers. She took that off of my plate. Probably about a season ago. She's just started, hey, I got you. Whatever you need, friend, I got you. And I appreciate that because it's a lot. It takes a lot to run this podcast. It takes a lot to do the things that we're doing. And sometimes people think that it's easy and you could just start a podcast and you just can't. I digress. But it takes a lot. It takes a lot. So I appreciate the people that have been, you know, hanging in there with me and that are doing the things and working and putting the work and actually are dedicated to the vision of what we're doing. So
hats off to you for that. Shout out to you. 2025 for you.
Shout out to you.
I mean, yeah, but I say that because I think when you talk about healing, change, sometimes it takes a lot to go through some type of change. Any type of change, honestly. That we've all been going through that, whether it's socially, emotionally, mentally, you know, our kids going through changes and things like that, right? And still showing up and putting on a show every Monday, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a big deal.
Yeah. So. This season was you know, you think about it, it was so many life-changing things happening during this time.
Yeah.
You know, from, you know, death, losing someone that, you know, was very close to us, to me going through my own spinal surgery and that not working out too well. just a lot of adjustments, even losing my co-host, that was an adjustment, for myself as well. And it was just definitely a season of healing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, good. Made it through.
Yeah.
Any other good episodes for you? Or what is the episode maybe you wish you would have grabbed in season 4?
That I wish I would have grabbed.
Yeah.
An episode that I maybe that I didn't do.
Yeah. Anyone? You have anything else?
I'm trying to think.
All the ones with Miss Lisa was dope too, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lisa really shed light on interracism.
Yeah.
Black women reclaiming our communities. Yeah, she's really dope. Dr. Parker was dope. Why black men why the nation need black men.
Yeah.
And that's just just sending a Batman signal out to y'all, saying, hey, we need y'all. Like, we need y'all. We have not thrown away the black man. I love my black kings. And I think that was an important conversation and topic to have. I think I can't say there's everybody that I wanted to talk to this season and interview, I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I absolutely did. Good. I think that the show that you did, I believe it was called Rooted in Healing or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was a very liberating show. Because you talked a little bit about your experience and just as a father and
I think
all of that parenting,
and it's just a continued journey, right? And sometimes we always have like this 18, like I would like to say just begins.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Who said that, y'all? Who said that when your children turn 18, they're supposed to leave the house? I want to know. If y'all really know, put it in the chat, because I really want to know where that comes from.
Yeah, but
that's not happening in 2025.
Absolutely.
First of all, things are too expensive.
Yeah. And here's the thing: nowhere should it sometimes, right? But yeah, and it's in that episode, I just kind of talked about. I question and throw things out there just to continue to get educated for myself, but while sharing my experience, that journey, because they're young adults now, right?
Right.
And another change that has to happen where all the things that you've instilled to them when they were younger, now you have to help navigate and manage, as opposed to giving direction and doing this and doing that, right? Because to them, they grown. Right? So they start to try to make more grown up decisions and things like that.
For sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was a good episode too.
Yeah,
for sure.
What about you? What is there a show that you wish we would have done?
Man,
that you didn't tell me about?
Probably. It's probably all centered around. There was one I was walking the other day. And like I had this thought about, I saw like this vision of men in a circle, and I saw you in the middle, Levante in the middle, Miss Lisa in the middle.
What?
And I saw having conversation and drawing. These are men though, right? So like and even Eric, right? I thought about him, whether he was in the circle or if he was helping produce, right? Because again, while there's a voice that black men speaking to black men, it's powerful for sure. But I think that we talk about season 5 or in the Rebirth Live about our community.
Yeah.
How do we showcase us supporting each other?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of that voice and getting those conversations out is allowing, like I kind of talked earlier, is showing how that's done and providing that place for for us to listen, for women to listen, for men to listen. Right. So it could go the other way, women around, and us facilitating that conversation and say, what do you want us to hear? What are some of the moments where, right? Like, So it may not have been a show for
Mm-hmm.
right, but that could have been a
Mm-hmm.
workshop that it was just in my mind,
Absolutely.
right, and filming
Absolutely.
that and how powerful that is. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's we talk a lot, and there's a thousand podcasts that are out there because we all have something to say.
Mm-hmm.
We all want to be heard, but actually seeing it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and showcasing, because it shows a level of accountability. It shows
Mm-hmm.
that people want to listen and want to hear, and allowing us to show up, and it shows a sense of community. It shows a
Absolutely.
sense of community.
And we can and it's a way to have some type of resolve
Mhm.
around some of the issues, instead of blaming each other, but
Mhm.
coming together against the issue,
Correct. Correct.
so
So it's like taking parts of the community that we've put
mm-hmm.
together, whether it be in season 4 or season 3, right, and combining those resources and doing something on a larger
Yeah,
scale because we're stronger together.
absolutely.
And as Michelle always says, what you need is in the room.
Right.
But we just keep opening the door and walking
Right.
back out of the room,
Yeah.
right? So think about how powerful that could be,
Mm-hmm.
and what that could blossom and what that could turn
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
So that was the thought that I had walking,
Yeah.
right? that I saw.
Wow.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah,
speak that into,
yeah.
manifest it, pray on it and
Yes,
see.
for sure. Because I think that would be
Mm-hmm.
that would be powerful.
But see, so if I have to look back, there was something that I wanted to do. It wasn't a show,
Okay.
but it was something that I was hoping that I was going to be able to do this month for the month of June, and that was a healing hymn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I did not get a chance to do it, but I was also reminded that it didn't necessarily have to be in June.
Right.
I can still do it, and I am going to still do
Mhm.
it. So we'll talk more about that to
Right.
come. But otherwise, yeah, show wise, I think we had some great guests. We really did. We had some great guests. We had Drome University on here. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yep, we had Drome University. Who else? I'm trying to think who else was on here that graced our mics.
Michelle was on here.
Yes, woman of more.
More was on here.
Lady Delisa, Pastor Delisa, I should say. Her show was really good too. She's so crazy. That's my girl. She was good. Dr. Brown.
Yes.
Shout out to Dr. Brown. Yes.
Always a good time.
Yep. And Dr. Brown, Lisa, a couple of these people you're going to see in rotation throughout the seasons because they're going to be coming and sharing different things with us. We had Sherry Simone. Sherry Simone now. We was calling her Sherry Mona, but Sherry Simone, and she's a lady that I do the retreats for.
Yeah.
We were talking about healing women internationally.
Yeah, we were trying to like get something where men are caring. We have to protect you women. So if you need us to go
Is
carry
that
your
right?
bags, listen.
Is that right?
I'll be the first one to do it. Like,
right?
I won't be in the way. You know what I mean? I won't get in the way. I'll just
She's
be
gonna
with the
put
bags.
that little disclaimer out there.
The bags. Y'all
Yes.
carry no bags.
Yes, you are so
but that's
right.
awesome though.
You are so
but I think
right.
that's awesome. I think that was awesome.
Yeah. And we had Simone Burke Cousins, and she was sharing with us, her
that was a powerful show, too.
seven losses, pregnancy losses, all together total 8 babies. Yeah. So that was a very she was very brave to even just share her story, but I think again there's healing in sharing. There's healing in sharing those stories because somebody needed to hear that and somebody needed to know that, what, she got through that, I know I can get through this. Yeah. The beautiful and energetic Natasha Rivera.
Yeah.
Remember Natasha, Coach Natasha? Yeah, she had all the energy. She shared about her life and how she made it through a lot of trauma and pretty much rediscovered herself. And now she's giving back and helping other women, coaching them. So it has been a season. Shout out to Jen Fontel. I call her Little Jen. She was on. Yeah, she had distorted thinking, right? We were talking. I think the show was called Twisted Thinking.
Twisted Thinking. Yeah.
But just talk about just how cognitive distortions, like the narratives that we create for ourselves, and how we talk negatively to ourselves, and being able to address that and change it.
Yeah.
And change it because a lot of us do speak very negative.
We do. We
We
do.
do.
We do. We do.
We do.
And learning how to spin out of some of the environments that we're in, or the social media wraps that we get caught up in. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
you have to recognize that, because you have to sometimes take a break.
Yeah.
You have to sometimes take a break.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We had a couple guests that just did like a little 10-minute interviews in the health, hope, and hip hop, or health, hip hop,
Yeah,
and
that
hope.
was a good one too.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
We got to follow up with him. I know that,
See how
because he
he's
had to
doing.
see how he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a lot to learn too. Just the health journey that he went on, right? And how sometimes we ignore things in our health, and sometimes I think he talked about how they told him nothing was wrong, and
Right,
he had to keep going back to
right,
the doctor
right.
and realized he had, like, I think it was a rare form of, was it
Yeah,
cancer? Yeah, right.
yeah, yep,
Um,
yep.
but what he's been able to do with that was powerful too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So, and we started the season off with the Rebirth meetup
sure
in
did.
February.
Sure
Yeah,
did.
we started the season off with the Rebirth meetup.
That
Shout
was a
out
fun
to
time.
Sarah Crawford. She actually allowed us to have our event at her event spot. And Sarah has also been on the show,
Mhm.
and it was a great time. And actually we'll be back there for the Rebirth meetup in October.
Yeah, yeah,
So you guys have to, make sure that you're following us, even though we're on break. Follow us, because it's going to be a Rebirth weekend in October, Red October.
yeah. Red October. Shout out
Yes.
to Just Twan,
Yes.
our DJ that night. We had a good time.
Yeah. Yup.
Yeah, we
Shout
had a
out
good
to
time.
Just Twine.
Yeah,
Shout out to G Dash. I
yeah,
gotta shout
Jarrell.
you out,
Yeah,
brother,
yeah,
because
yeah,
you're
yeah.
always sharing anything that Rebirth got going on. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We gotta get him on the show next season.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we gotta come and rock
Yeah,
out, do
yeah,
some of his
yeah. We do.
poems.
We do. We do. We
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yep. For
So
sure. Hats off. I don't know if I'll put on a
absolutely.
fedora, but
So guys, it's just been we're grateful. We don't take it for granted. We don't take you for granted. We know that, believe me, when you tune in, that for us, that's just like, okay. I don't care if it's 5 people watching.
hmm
Those 5 people are important to us.
for sure.
So,
Yeah.
what we would like to do is ask you, if you haven't subscribed, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Go to YouTube right now and just hit subscribe, so you'll know when we're coming back on. You'll also be notified for, some of the clips that maybe you didn't get a chance to see, like maybe some behind the scene footage or whatever,
Yeah.
Corey acting out and stuff behind the scene.
Sometimes.
Me losing my thought
Now that's
process and
funny.
having brain fog, and we will definitely we're gonna be posting a lot of that stuff and upcoming things that we have going on, and we want to know that you're getting the notification. So if you haven't done so, go to YouTube and
Subscribe.
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 Rebirth You Podcast.
Mm.
And also, we're on all podcast platforms.
Yep.
So literally, wherever you get your podcast, you will be able to find Rebirth You Podcast. You have to put the U in there, because there are other podcasts called Rebirth, and I did see that. So put in the letter U,
The letter U.
Rebirth You Podcast, and you'll be able to find us. Yeah.
So what are you thinking about number 5? Like, what 5 is a good round number, like, what are you thinking about number 5? Anything that you want to put out there? Not really. I mean, you kind of put out there the weekend. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
gonna be a big
The
one.
Rebirth weekend is
Yeah.
definitely going to be big. Honestly, I'm waiting for God to give me that direction. I'm waiting for him to give me that direction as to where we're going at in season 5, but it's going to be a ride.
It will. I'm waiting for the weekend.
The weekend for the Rebirth weekend?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think people have been asking for it. I think
Uh-huh.
anytime we have an event, they are already looking for the next one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or especially when we do the Rebirth live, the big event, people want to
Mhm.
party afterwards, right? They
Mhm.
want to go and do something the next day. So
Yeah.
it'll be exciting. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be
It's going to
fun.
be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're definitely going to have a good time. So, and we're going to be dropping that information, really soon. But also go to the website, rebirthu.com, and you'll be able to find all things Rebirth merch there, groups there. We got the Rediscovering Her membership.
Yeah.
that's there. You can still join that. That's $35 a month, and that gives you 2 groups each month online, as well as workshops, master classes, and just life skills that you'll learn through activities or worksheets. So anything that you need in regarding mental health, life skills, I'm trying to get, I ain't gonna put them on the spot, but I'm trying to get a certain someone to go ahead and do what he need to do. But I don't know if y'all knew or not. Corey is also a life coach. So yeah, I just put that in. I just put that out there. So so that's what we got going on. But we're going to wrap up, guys. It has been an amazing season. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much for making season 4 just a season of healing and love and reflection and renewing, and we're coming back season 5 August 11th. So mark your calendars.
8/11.
8/11. Mark your calendars. We're coming back, and it's going to be bigger and better. So I hope you guys enjoy your summer.
Yes.
Take some, some vacations, some day trips, or whatever you need to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And continue the healing. Continue to push yourself.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your family. Take nothing for granted, because this world has a lot of loops and turns and things like that. But appreciate you hanging in there with us, commenting, talking, suggesting, supporting.
Yes.
Obviously, and then we will see you in season number 5.
Season 5. See you guys. We're out. Have a good summer.